Spring to Sugarland. On the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520. KYND, Cypress, Houston, a Synergy Broadcasting Company. Talk that inspires change. Music that revives memories. The powerful 1520. The views and opinions expressed on KYND 1520 talk programs are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, management, other hosts, or advertisers. Show topics on this station may include conversations on any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practices. KYND, a Synergy Broadcasting Company.
Well, good morning, Houston. You know what that means? That beautiful, those beautiful steel drums mean that we get to usher in another fantastic conversation with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Khan. Good morning, Dr. Fisher.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited and so elated as always to be here with the KND staff and you, Oscar.
Thank you.
It's always a delight and pleasure.
Oh, it is. And I have to say, folks, those listening right now, if you are driving, go ahead and turn your radios up. You don't want to miss this conversation. If you are home or at your desk right now, go ahead and get your favorite beverage and just sit back and take in information that is not only life-saving but edifying, encouraging, will help you in the quality of your life, but also help others. That's what I love about this show. I mean, I talk to people. I learn little things from you, Dr. Fisher, and Dr. Khan will be here shortly. And gosh, whenever I hear those things, I'll say, "Did you know that?"
Yes,
and people say, "Man, you are so smart." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm just learning from the best."
That's right. I just have to totally agree with you. And one thing that Rose said, when she was on the show with us last week, is she said it's not acceptable for us to continue to lose our loved ones due to sickness and illness.
Yes.
We are here because we want to make sure that our listeners know how to get well and stay well. It's kind of like when you're gearing off the road, you got to know when you need to get back in your lane. It happens all the time, right?
That's right.
We might be doing something, distracted with our phones or listen to the radio, and we tend to gear off, but we don't wait till we get all the way to the other side of the freeway to figure out, oh my God, we tend to shift back over. Or if you feel them little ridges in the road,
That's right.
It's like, let me get back in tune.
That's right.
So we gotta help our community because I love and I enjoy what I do. And so when people say, are you gonna retire? I say, I'm never gonna retire. I love what I do. I love giving people just nuggets and tidbits on what you need to do to get well. So teaching them how to recognize those symptoms and act on them is what I enjoy doing.
I love your passion, and that is one of the definitions of success. Is we were just listening to some motivational pieces before we got on the air here, and one of the definitions of success is that when you are in purpose. So many times we measure success by the car, the bank account, the house. But the truth is, it's when we're in purpose that we are most successful, most happy. And that's why I love your passion, Dr. Fisher. And good morning and welcome, Dr. Khan. How are you, sir?
Exceptionally well.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
It's fabulous to have you here. We were just talking about, really edifying and encouraging others. And I have to say, last week I was quite encouraged. I hope that Miss Rose B. Johnson, as well as her other members of her group, the Rose B. Johnson Foundation for Colon Cancer, are listening this morning and would love to thank them for their participation in last week's conversation.
Absolutely. We cross paths with exceptional people sometime, and I think that her and her staff is one of a group of those individuals. Because speaking with her, she mentioned that she found her passion after that, what appears to be a horrendous experience. She took the best from that and transformed herself, and now she's doing the same thing for others. So I salute Miss Rose.
And sometimes that's why, when we go through things, we have to learn to be appreciative because you have no idea what miracle is going to come out of it, where, your purpose may be designed out of that trial. Something good always can come out of something bad, so you get in the habit of looking for the gold.
Yes.
Right?
My grandmother put it this way. She said, you always look for the good.
That's right.
That's right. That was wisdom back then. I have to tell you, boy, the
but we don't understand that until you're faced with a dilemma.
There you go.
What that actually means, look for the goal. That means, if you're going through a divorce, if you lose a child, you get sickness, what is it I'm supposed to learn in this situation? Because everything is a learning mistake, and there's never a mistake.
That's right.
So there's a reason for the season. You just got to embrace it.
You're right, and that optimism makes it all worthwhile. I love this little story that's told about these two twin boys, and their parents were very, very wealthy, and so the boys were just spirited young men, but one was a pessimist and the other an optimist. And so one day the parents decided, okay, we've got to reverse this trend. So the little optimistic kid was put in one room, and the little pessimistic kid was put in another, and so they had a huge box in there. And so the first kid, the little pessimistic kid, he gets this big box, and they pull this box back, and it's a beautiful little pony. And the kid says, oh, gosh, now I'm going to have to clean up behind this thing, and I don't know, it's going to smell. And he was all negative. And then the optimistic kids in the other room, they pull back the box, and all it is manure in there. And he goes, oh, this is great. If there's manure, there's got to be a pony around here somewhere. So it's all how you look at things, right?
Yeah.
It's all how you look at things. So, folks, those listening out there, we want to encourage you to be optimistic, because I'd like to, before you all jump into your topic for today, which is a really good continuation of what we talked about, can you both speak to how attitude affects health?
Wow.
Wow.
There have been studies that have been done okay, let's use something everybody know about, the placebo.
Yes.
Now, the placebo says that I'm going to give one group of people a medication or a substance, and it's supposed to get some kind of results you're looking for. This is A group. Then B group, we said, we're going to give you the same thing, but you really don't. You get them something just generic, plain, neutral. And then over a period of time, you observe the outcome. And there are studies been done along those lines that shows that the individuals who received nothing came out with the positive results also. And you say, but how can that be? We didn't give them just plain water.
Yes.
It's because the attitude determines your altitude. Words and thoughts have power. And what you think and what you believe, it will happen. It will create. Right. So in essence, we are in control of us and also the results. You might say, this person is always non-positive. Well, it depends on how you take that. Everyone who are positive or non-positive bring you a gift, and you can learn from each one. Remember that old adage say that the glass is what? Half full or half empty.
Right.
It's both.
That's right.
It depends on how you want to look at it.
That's right.
So yes, your attitude, your thoughts influence how you feel, and also your action, and also the results that you're going to produce.
And I encourage clients all the time. Get a few pieces of paper, something simple. Doesn't have to be spend money on a journal. Write down at the end of the day what you're thankful and grateful for. And what you'll notice is that it's going to be amazing how you're actually going to start to find things that you're thankful and grateful for. And each day, you're going to encounter more situations that are going to cause you to be more thankful and more grateful. So everything is energy. Everything is energy. And if you don't trust it, put your hands up against your own hands. Put your hands up against someone else's hands. And after a while, you're going to feel a sense of heat.
That's right.
There's a sense of heat. So it shows you that everything is energy. Non-living, living
That's right.
plants,
That's right.
everything has something. And when you put it out, it comes back. So when you start to journal, do it for just 7 days.
That's right.
I encourage clients, just do it for 7 days. If you do it for 7 days, you would just really wow yourself at the end of the 7 days, because you'd be like, wow, there's a lot of things that happen. Because as you start to write down what you are thankful and grateful for, you'll find more things to be thankful and grateful for. And it really will propel you. So just imagine if you're grateful, thankful and grateful for 7 days, you turn that into 30 days, in 6 months.
Yes.
Now you in the next year, you'll be amazed at how much you've accomplished by the end of the year based on just you changing your attitude. And if you can't find it, just dig deep. Maybe the first day, you may only come up with one
Thank
thing.
goodness I'm alive and
You
breathing.
may come up with
I woke
one
up this
thing.
morning.
I didn't stub my toe this morning.
That's right.
But that's great advice,
You'd
though,
be
Doc.
amazed
Yeah.
at how your life will change. And when you do that, write down the things you want to accomplish this year.
Yes.
And when you write them down and you start writing down what you're going to be thankful and grateful for, it will totally change who you are.
Absolutely.
Yes,
One of
yes.
the things I do with my coaching is we deal with affirmation.
Yes.
That same thing we just
Yes.
mentioned about words, attitude. Deal with affirmation, also meditation. In other words, your perspective, your thoughts, your view. What do you want and how you're going to do it? So
Right.
it's very key that what you think and what you say determines exactly where you're going to end up.
Wow. Now, so this is a great segue into the conversation and sort of a continuation
Right.
from last week, because one of the things, and that's what I love about both of you, you recognize, and the way that you treat your clients / your patients really deals with the whole body.
Yes.
And that's why we're just talking about the attitude. But one of the things about colon cancer, which we were talking about last week, about anything actually related to the colon, to the bowels, to the lower tract,
Right.
has to do with holding on to anger, not being able to get that stuff out.
Oh.
Right.
And when somebody has that anger and they are holding on to it and it becomes a way of thinking, that can precipitate this disease. So then, having said that, we understand now that we have to change the way we're viewing things. Now, what would some of the more practical aspects, maybe we can frame that conversation, because we started it last week, on colon cancer and cleansing and detoxing the body. What should we be thinking about if that's not something we've ever talked about before, because it's a yucky subject, a taboo subject, or whatever?
Well, we have mentioned this in the past about things you can do to maintain your health. And the colon is the key to your health. So if
Yes.
you are not having a regular bowel movement, then you are going to end up with some kind of disease. You take your pick.
Yes.
So you have to be regular. And I think that bowel movement should become a regular conversational piece with all of us, because
Right.
it's something that we do. And if we mentioned that certain things you can notice in your stool that give you a little red flag is if you're not going frequently, you're eating 3 meals a day and you're going every other day, then that's a red flag.
Yes. Absolutely.
If you go to the bathroom, it takes you 5-30 minutes to have a BM, that's a red flag. That is not regular. If you're taking you an hour to have a BM. If you go in and it's painful, it's uncomfortable, that's a red flag. And so how do you, okay, those are the flags. What do you do so you don't have to have those flags? One, we mentioned about alkaline the body. Also, drink plenty of water. When you say, I'm saying water, but I'm not going to say fluids, because folks misinterpret it. Oh, I drink fluids. I mean water.
Right. They say,
So
well, I
important
drink
you
some,
said
I drink
that.
some vodka. That's some fluid, right? Well,
Right.
let's do this. This is such a huge conversation, and we want folks to tune in, and also we want you to join the conversation. So Take note of the number 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592. Continue to tune in and share this. We're going to take a brief break. We'll be back in just a moment.
From the Woodlands to Warden, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Yo, what up, world? That's right, Carl Mays, King Motivator, KYND 1520. You better keep it locked. I'm telling you, if you want to stay focused, you want to be great, you want to get what you need, I got you. That's right, another day, another chance.
Everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we are back. You're listening to Road to Wellness with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Khan. Welcome to the Road to Your Health. So we're just talking a few moments before the break about the importance of the colon and colon health. And we started this conversation last week with some beautiful ladies that were here in the studio. And Dr. Khan, you were just talking about how important it is because the stomach and colon is the second
brain.
Brain.
Yeah,
That's right. And in order for your body to work properly, you have to have the proper amount of water in your system.
Right.
And I don't mean coffee. I don't mean sodas. I don't mean fluids. I mean water. Because our body depends on the source, from 70 to 80% or more is water. So we have to keep water. And dehydration that's another topic we have in the future about dehydration in this country, because it is an issue. They won't go there.
Right.
Yet when you are dehydrated, there's not enough water in your colon, in your body, to support its function.
You know, and one thing just to add, when you say water, just to kind of give them a visual, the brain is composed of 90% water.
Yes.
The lungs is composed of 95% water.
Yes.
the bloodstream, just the circulation in the body is composed to 82% water, and then the rest of the body is composed of 70% water. So if you're not drinking water, guess what's happening? Dizziness, vertigo, you feel tired, you're fatigued, start to get foggy in the mind. You know, when you go to the bathroom, your urine may be, have an odor to it, or maybe yellow in color. So that's to show you how significant water is to the body.
Now let me ask you all this, because I read this a while back, and I wasn't ever able to substantiate it. I don't know if either of you've read this. They say that when you drink water, only 3% of that water is actually absorbed in the system at a time, and the rest passes through. Have you ever heard that? I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I hear. So you've got to continuously drink to hydrate your body.
The water don't stay in the system. I mean, it comes out. It comes out through your skin, evaporation. It comes out through urine.
Urine.
You can breathe in. It comes out through your pores. It comes out through your stool. So you have to replace that water. It don't stay in the system. I'm going to give a visual analogy what Dr. Fisher just said about the blood, the heart, the lungs, etc. Let's take a house, for instance. Let's say your commode, your bathroom is your colon in the house. Okay? Now, if you go in there and have a nice BM in your bathroom, in your commode, and don't flush it, and you leave the house for a week, and you come back, the whole house will smell like the bathroom, the commode. So when you are having a constipation problem, when you're not going frequently, like regularly, like you should to the bathroom, then your body begin to smell like your colon. Your body odor changes. You can smell the skin. It has that odor to it. The same analogy. So it's to be healthy, you have to drink fluids. And water.
And you know, and I've seen that with people, and I've read it with people with bad breath as well. You know, there's a chronic halitosis is what they call it. And that is a tendency where the gut is starting to have putrid smells because of the fact that we are not cleansing and detoxing the way we need to.
No, it's absolutely true. And you know, it's just a matter of us understanding the importance of it, because a lot of times I'll have clients that'll call the office and say, you know, I'm experiencing even just diarrhea or even just irritation with the stomach and problems. And we have to understand a lot of these toxins are being introduced through food. And I mean, and this is something we probably preach, both of us, till we're black and blue in the face, right? About the importance of that colon. Black and blue. And so it's just so important for us to understand that, you know, anytime that we are struggling with going to the restroom, anytime we're, you know, like Dr. Khan had already mentioned that, you know, if you're constipated, or if you're taking too long to have a bowel movement, or if when you are having a bowel movement, you have that ribbon-like strings in the toilet, or if you have any kind of bleeding in the colon, don't start piecing yourself together. And that's what I find a lot of clients do. So by the time they get to one of us, there's a lot of work that has to be done to rehab that colon.
Right, because they're attempting to self-diagnose, which is
self-treat,
which is not good. They're going to Dr. Google for their answers. Well, we have two real doctors in the house, so folks, let me give you some phone numbers so you can connect with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Khan. To reach Dr. Fisher, you can do so at 713-520-8188. Again, that's 713-520-8188. To reach Dr. Khan, you can do so at 832-821-5426. Again, that's 832-821-5426. We want to encourage listeners right now. We know that many may be on their way to work, and you're thinking, gosh, I wish so-and-so could hear this conversation. Well, guess what, folks? Due to our modern technology, we have the ability for you to share this program. If you go to your Facebook at KYND 1520, you can find us on Facebook. look up Road to Wellness, scroll down, you will see the beautiful Dr. Fisher and the wonderfully handsome Dr. Khan and the quasi-okay looking Oscar. Hey, look, a little self-deprecation, never hurt anyone. And you can see us live, folks, but more importantly, you can share this program, because if someone shared a program like this with Miss Johnson 8-9 years ago before she was diagnosed, it could have saved her life.
Yes.
So you don't know whose life you can positively affect, and we want to encourage you to do that. Now, so let me ask you all this, because we're talking about the importance of drinking water and constipation and some of those different areas. And then we just discussed this self-diagnosis piece. So there's a lot of stuff out there. There's, people can go in and buy psyllium husk or cascara sagrada or sienna and tea. And what are your take on some of these products?
So, I'm a huge fan of buying clean, grade 10. And this is something I probably preach till I'm black and blue in the face. I have clients come in all the time, and I always ask my clients to bring their supplements with them. And this is a huge pet peeve of mine, because we're buying our supplements in drugstores and convenience stores, and even health food stores sometimes. And it's so important to look at the ingredients of what you're buying. So I'm kind of trained to look at the things that they are not trained to look at. So in terms of quality, it's so important that if your psyllium husk is great, senna is great, but what I always tell them is to buy a product with integrity. If you're going to get a product to help you to be more regular, it's so important to make sure that those products don't have excipients in them. And what excipients are like binders and fillers and additional coloring that they add to it that actually compromises the immune system. So I personally recommend that they always take an enzyme before they eat and some hydrochloric acid after they eat. And I say that because the two of those work very well to allow you to properly digest. It's not enough to just say, oh, I have a bowel movement every day. That doesn't mean you're properly digesting. And that's the part I have to really impress upon them. The body has the ability to recognize the nutrients it needs and to grab them and take them to those different cells where it's needed. If you're just pushing out a bowel movement, you're not digesting properly at all, which means that your body's going to continue to be deficient. So if you're over 40 years old, I usually always highly recommend, if you're not going to go to a vegetarian diet, to make sure you take a supplement that is a clean supplement, what I consider grade 10, to break down the food in the form that the body can recognize the nutrients it needs and to take them to other areas of the body so that you're not nutritionally deficient.
Outstanding. Great advice. And so folks, those listening now, 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592. Let's go ahead and take a caller. Good morning, Ray. You're on the air with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Khan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, doctor. First-time caller. I am interested in knowing, what are your thoughts on black seed cumin oil?
Black seed cumin oil, you say?
Cumin oil, yes, ma'am.
I don't know enough about the black seed cumin oil, and it's not a specific product that I carry. However, I know there are some good health benefits to it, and I have several. You have more experience with that one because you could speak on that one. I do know that there are several elements that it does help with. Usually, I feel my take on this is that essential fatty acid is very important to the body. So, when you're, and I say that because the brain is composed of fat and water. So you have to make sure that you're taking something to any type of essential. And that could be the cumin oil. That can be a good, clean fish oil. That could be some nuts. That could be flaxseed. So there's a variation of essential fatty acids that you can take that is good for the brain and the heart and the joints. So it's not one of the products I carry. However, I know a lot of clients that do take it, and they get great health benefits from it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your call.
Thanks for your call, Ray. So again, folks, if you have questions, 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592. One of the things I really like that Dr. Fisher has said on a few occasions is we help you to cut back on a 20-year learning curve. You've got experts that are at your disposal that recognize and understand the different aspects of using different products and different things out there. So really, some of the store-bought products, from what you're saying, Dr. Fisher, are really diluted, convoluted in some cases.
And they're synthetic. They're made in a lab. They're synthetic. And that's what we don't understand. In the world we live in, you want a good, clean plant source, fermented, probiotic, that is not synthetic. Most of the vitamins we're buying in these traditional stores, they are synthetic chemical isolates. So if it's easy for you to just walk in a local drugstore and just pick up a vitamin, I would be leery of it.
And to add to that, read the label.
Absolutely. And not what's in it. Read underneath the label. Go to other ingredients. That's the best takeaway I can give you. Go to other ingredients, okay? This is not you're a trained professional now. That's the first thing I go to when I look at a supplement is other ingredients, because what other ingredients does is it tells me the integrity of the company.
That's right.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's where they sneak the bad stuff in. All right, folks, you are listening to Road to Wellness with Dr. Fisher and Dr. Khan. We'll take another brief break. Stay with us. Don't leave anywhere. We're going to talk about some of the different ways you can get that colon healthy and bring your life on track. We'll be back in just a moment.
Liking the conversation? Tell a friend to tune in to KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
The power of a community lies in the strength of its leaders. Throughout history, powerful leaders have emerged to help guide our community through difficult times. When a leader emerges, they make a commitment to the ones they serve to help them through challenges, encourage them to move to greater heights, and to celebrate them when they have victories. For more than 21 years, Bayway Lincoln has celebrated our diversity and supported our communities. Bayway Lincoln, a part of the Bayway Auto Group, a family-owned auto group, is one of the fastest growing dealers in Houston. Bayway Lincoln has been awarded the prestigious Triple Crown Award for quality service. Bayway Lincoln, Volkswagen of the Woodlands, Bayshore Dodge, Bayway Volvo. The Bayway family has been longtime champions of diversity and would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the leaders of the past and encourage the leaders of the future. We invite you to come and find out what's made Bayway Lincoln an award-winning dealership for over 2 decades. Go to baywaylincoln.com or call 281-929-6500. That's 281-929-6500. Bayway Lincoln, strengthening our community for a better tomorrow. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we are back on the road to wellness. If you're on the roads out there, please be careful. Know that on this beautiful day, you want to get to work safe. And know on this beautiful thing called life, you want to end it healthy. And you can do that by following some of the advice of these fine professionals. Those of you wanting to reach out to Dr. Fisher, let me give out a number. I'll do that again at the end, but some have to get into the office. We don't want to hold you up. 713-520-8188. Again, that's 713-520-8188. And to reach Dr. Khan, Qigong Master, 832-821-5426. Again, 832-821-5426. This morning, we're talking about the nuances of colon health. And a few moments ago, Dr. Fisher, you mentioned the importance of not only enzymes, but you also alluded to this. And I think this is important when we talk about colon health, because if someone even just goes to a store and they start just taking as much, psyllium husk as they can manage, and stuff's coming out of them that's been in there since 96, they have to replenish the good bacteria. So can you all speak on the subject of probiotics for just a moment?
Wow, probiotics is so important. Actually, and I'm actually going to give you probably one of my best takeaways that keeps me in business.
Okay.
But I'm here to share, and I don't mind. Typically when I have a client to call my office, and what should I do? I feel nauseous. I don't feel good. I feel sick. I have diarrhea. It's amazing when you tell them to take a probiotic, how it all just goes away. What that means is that because you have consumed food that the stomach does not like, it has irritated those intestinal walls. And so the stomach wants a way to try to help add some good bacteria to the stomach so that the stomach can do what it needs to do. Right. So a lot of times, this is why I tell people, that the only thing that you take that is toxic to the body that we consume is food and, of course, alcoholic beverages and a lot of sugary drinks. We consume these things, and our stomach really don't like it.
Right.
It does not like it, but we don't, we just think, well, it tastes good. But, you're sacrificing your health for taste. Once it passed the mouth, then it's just doing damage to the body. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do is that because we've continued to introduce bad bacteria into the body needs good bacteria to try to help offset it. So probiotics is very important. And the one that I usually will recommend that I do every day is sauerkraut. Inexpensive. You can buy it at the store. It's the best fermented probiotic. And all it is cabbage.
Yes.
And what I do is take maybe a fourth of a cup a day.
Just don't eat it with the hot dog, right? I had a weird dream about hot dogs last night. I was telling my son how bad they are for you. That's what I literally.
Yeah.
So just eat the straight sauerkraut.
Yes.
It's fermented cabbage.
It's fermented cabbage.
And some people say, well, sauerkraut or cabbage gives me flatulence. But is that the reason?
Right, because what it's doing is just basically cleaning house. It is going to clean house. So if it's going to clean house, let it do what it needs to do. Just means if it does that to you, then you may want to have your cabbage in your private time.
That's right. And make sure you got some candles lit.
Yeah. But sauerkraut is the best inexpensive way to just add good bacterial flora to the stomach.
Yes. But I know, too, Dr. Fisher, you carry some very, very strong, high-end probiotics.
Absolutely.
And what I've learned over the years, and I remember some years ago, I worked with a naturopathic doctor, and for some reason I contracted strep throat, which I'd never had before. But if you've never had this, folks, I know my voice is a little rough tonight, but this morning, but it's not from that. But just it feels like a rusty nail that's sticking in the back of your throat. It was one of the most uncomfortable things. And what he recommended as part of my protocol was to megadose. Megadose, that means take more than is recommended normally of probiotics. The good thing about probiotics, they're not like antibiotics, which is like penicillin or whatever.
Right.
You can't really OD on them. As I understand it, the worst effect you can have is maybe a little diarrhea or something. But what this did was nothing short of miraculous.
Yeah.
I mean, within 24 hours, I was completely cured. And I say cured because I didn't feel it. There was nothing there.
Right.
And the day before, I couldn't even talk. I couldn't swallow.